Hello everyone, my name is Angelina. Critical thinking is one of the basic qualities that is looked out for in job applicants, in that critical thinking is one of the most important courses that is studied in our institutions. In this video, my colleagues and I are going to enlighten you on some elements in language and meaning which make arguments sound or unsound.
Ambiguity. An ambiguous expression is a word or phrase which is uncertain and can have one or more meanings, which can confuse the reader or listener and hinder the meaning of the text. For example, did you see her dress? It could mean, did you see her wearing her dress? Or did you see the dress she was wearing? Vagueness. Vague. Adjective. Not clearly, precisely, or definitely expressed or stated. Vagueness is a characteristic of language, specifically of those words and phrases that classify or qualify objects, that is, common nouns and adjectives. Vagueness of thought and expression is a major obstacle to the development of critical thinking. For example, the common noun elephant divides the world into elephants and non-elephants. Definitions. Definitions explain and clarify a meaning. There are two parts of a definition: definitum and definins. Definitum is the term being defined, and definins is the words that define definitum. Types of definitions. Reportive definition. It's the definitions found in dictionaries. As in the example, a prime number is any integer greater than 1 and divisible only by 1 in itself. 2. Stipulative definition. It is used to assign a new meaning to a term, whether or not the term has an existing meaning. For example, to love someone is to be willing to die for that person. 3. Precising definition. It is used to make meaning of a term more accurate. It avoids vagueness, disputes, and uncertainty. For example, 1. Student refers to any person under the age of 18 enrolled in a local school, whilst a reportive definition of a student could be anyone who studies something. 2. Class participation means attending class, listening attentively, answering and asking questions. Consistency and inconsistency. A set of statements is consistent when and only when it is logically possible for all of them to be true in the same situation. It's about understanding relationships of the statements and not necessarily proving them to be factually true or false. As in the example, President Obama is 56 years old. He is the father of Michael. Even though it's not true that Obama is the father of Michael, he is 56 years means that he could be a father and has attained the age of fatherhood. Consistencies and inconsistencies are very necessary in making generalizations, and they are very important in making claims as well. For example, all abortions are crimes, but there are exceptions. This statement is an inconsistent statement because there are contradictions with all abortions and still being an exception, which means that there could be abortions which are not crimes, and making this statement very inconsistent. Implication. An implication is that to which our thinking is leading us. Implications are what we think of next because of the interpretations and inferences we have come to. When we come to our conclusion, our solution, then we need to look at what logically comes next or could happen next if we act on that conclusion. It's time to look at the implications of our reasoning. If your reasoning is correct, how might people think or act? Examples. 1. If you score above 85% in this class, then you will get an A. 2. x is equal to 2 implies x plus 1 is equal to 3. 3. My thumb will hurt if I hit it with a hammer. Equivalence. Under equivalence, we have false equivalence. False equivalence is a logical fallacy which describes a situation where there is a logical and apparent equivalence, but when in fact there is none. This fallacy is categorized as a fallacy of inconsistency. The pattern of the fallacy is often as such. If A is the set of C and D, and B is the set of D and E, then since they both contain D, A and B are equal. D is not required to exist in both sets. Only a passing similarity is required to cause this fallacy to be able to be used. The following statements are examples of false fallacies. They are both soft, cuddly pets. There is no difference between a dog and a cat. We all bleed red. We are all no different from each other. False equivalence is occasionally claimed in politics, where one political party will accuse their opponents of having performed wrong actions. Commentators may also accuse journalists of false equivalence in their reporting of political controversies if the stories are perceived to assign equal blame to multiple parties. Necessary truth and necessary falsehood. Necessary truth is a proposition that could be true in every possible world. Necessary truth could also be a sentence which is true by virtue of its logical structure. A truth is necessary only if its denial is necessarily false. Examples: if no desire is voluntary, and some beliefs are desires, then some beliefs are not voluntary. 2. If Drasha is a cat, and all cats are mysterious, then Drasha is mysterious. 3. Every raven is black, or not black. A necessary falsehood is a proposition false in all possible worlds. Examples: 1. Sam is a married bachelor. This is a false statement and contains a self-contradiction. Bachelors are by definition unmarried. Contingent truth and contingent falsehood. A contingent truth is a true proposition that could have been false, and a contingent falsehood is a false proposition that could have been true. This is sometimes expressed by saying that a contingent proposition is one that is true in some possible worlds and not in others. An example of a contingent proposition is the proposition that human beings have evolved from other forms of life.
Thank you very much for watching. I hope this video was very helpful. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share.